Um. Oh yeah. Have there been or are there currently noticeable effects from the context of the COVID pandemic?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. You said that you noticed kids are engaging less even after
Um,
the COVID pandemic. We also chalked that up to phones.
yep. So
Have
one
you
of
noticed, like, since 2019 even,
yep,
there's a huge change?
yep,
Yeah.
yep. When we went online,
Yeah.
online is not awesome.
No.
Some teachers adapted to it pretty well. Others were terrible.
Hmm.
Others just plowed ahead like everything was normal, and they tried to do what they did in the classroom online, and that was disastrous.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them didn't scale back on the amount they expected students to learn, blah, blah, blah. So, but it forced students to go even more insular,
Mm-hmm.
even more online, even more less engaged with what's their environment around them and the people around them to this screen in
Yeah.
front of me.
Yeah.
So that has had an effect, um, for sure, in the classroom, where you have less social skills,
Mm.
uh, less comfort in being with other people,
Mm-hmm.
less willingness to like go hammer and tongs
Mm.
verbally in a respectful way and still go out for a pint together afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
right? That the ability to do that, to really debate somebody, disagree with them, challenge them, but still respect and be their friend,
Yeah.
that skill is waning.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
so yeah, it's I see less willingness to do that. It's also created fearful people.
Mm.
Not that we shouldn't be careful, be kind, be calm, and be safe, but uh, the message of the media, of the government, is there's always an element of fear,
Mm.
and it's a pandemic, and we have to deal with it from a medical standpoint in a wise way, smart way. But when you hear the premier of your province, the leader of your country, um, um, medical professionals, the chief medical officer,
Mm.
what you're hearing is words of caution and fear.
Yeah.
And for a kid, they hear that and it makes them afraid.
Mm.
When they see their parents are like, oh, or getting angry, or
Of course.
they're like,
And it trickles down.
what's going on here?
Yeah.
Right? I wanted a nice childhood.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah.
So, you know, even for people who like grade nines, people who were in grade 9 in COVID are grade 11 now. So a lot of their high school experience has
Holy
been COVID.
shit. Yeah.
It has
Crazy.
not been awesome.
No.
They haven't done a lot of fun things, engaging things. They
Right.
haven't bonded together really well as a class because they haven't been able to.
Yeah. They haven't been a class.
No, they can't do the regular things that bind people together. You talk about community. Well,
Yeah.
when you can't do those things because you can't get together, you can't create a community.
Yeah.
So,
Is this the Socials 11 that's crickets?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the whole grade 11 class
Really?
that is like this.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not sure it's universal. I've heard the grade 9s are a real handful, but also not like super engaged.
Yeah.
What they want now, what they'll do, if you give them, this is so weird,
What?
stuff that should be like, if you give them a worksheet
Ah.
off of a student workbook,
Mm-hmm.
okay, here's the worksheet. It could be like thick.
Yeah.
Here's the student workbook.
This is your 11s?
Any class.
Really?
I'd like you to do the worksheet
Mm-hmm.
where they are reading, fill in blank, respond, as long as it's not too deep.
Yeah.
If it's just like read, wrote, regurgitate,
Yeah.
they'll go to that fish like a fish to water.
Really?
And
Yeah, it's a negative.
There's some value in those things.
Yeah.
But if they're just like regurgitating.
Well, you gotta think. I bet you that's what the pandemic learning was a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what they'll do.
Yeah.
And it's even worse in the public system.
Mm.
Because at least MEI, we went to a quarter system,
Yeah.
right, where students were in school all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Most of those students in the public high school were in those classes for half a day, and then they were online in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Because of the dynamics of the size of the school. So it's worse. I would imagine it's worse in the public system.
Yeah.
We're gonna see the effects of COVID like a baby boom bubble, right?
Yeah.
Where you always see it in the population profile.
Yeah.
We'll see this moving through society.
Yeah.
We'll get over this.
Yeah.
And we'll eventually, we won't get back to normal.
Yeah.
Because the phone was already pushing us.
Yeah.
The electronics were already pushing us in this direction. COVID has just amplified that.
Yeah.
So, but this group, you know, from K to 12 who had all this,
Mm-hmm.
we'll see the effects. It's not going to be as pronounced as the baby boom, but we'll see the educational effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, think of your own experience.
Yeah.
What have you lost out because of COVID educationally?
So fun.
Quite a bit.
Don't ask me that. It's so depressing.
Isn't it?
It's so sad.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's the way it is for these kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Rick.
It's antagonizing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that I want to create a complex, but I think of like from K to university. You know, probably like people who are graduating high school and university students have taken it on the chin the most. Like, and old people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the lockdowns. They're still having lockdowns in old folks' homes.
Oh yeah.
They can't visit with their family. Like
terrible.
Like my Uncle Abe, who was old. His whole family, he couldn't see his family.
Wow.
He couldn't see anybody. It's just the people coming to his room, all masked up.
Oh, here, we're keeping you alive.
Yeah. Like, what a way to go out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the old people have it the worst.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, it's not been good.
No. What may be different from the context before the pandemic? You kind of basically answered this.
Yeah.
Yeah, big shift in people's willingness to engage with others.
But we see this we'll see it in work society too.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how many people have gone from the office to working from home, and how much of that is continuing. Quite a bit.
Yeah.
So now you're not engaging with your coworker in human contact. You're here.
Yeah.
Doing it virtually. But what effects does that have on society?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've got some. I look at it and I'm like, I see some negative things here for society.
Yeah.
And it's not just through learning. It's in the workplace too.
Yeah.
And unless you're like physically doing something, a lot of things have shifted to at home work. Well, what's that doing to us as a society, right? So I've got questions. Maybe it'll be okay, but I'm like, could see how this could not be okay.
Yeah, our government overlords are gonna get us isolated and in front of our screens, and then they're gonna pump the divisive, brainwashing information into us. That's what they're gonna do.
Well, it sounds ridiculous. It does sound ridiculous, but like if Max were here,
no, that's what they're gonna do, man.
He would have like points where like, well, there'd be some valid points, right?
Yeah.
Like we haven't seen less government control. control. We've seen more government control by
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
And is that a good thing? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I got my own opinions, but
Yeah, me too.
Which challenges and opportunities may have been associated with different modes of teaching and learning?
Well, I gotta hear that again.
Which challenges and opportunities may have been associated with different modes of teaching and learning?
Well, I think
So
we
I
talked
guess
about that.
online versus
Online.
in person.
The challenges are like, how do you, first off, how do you engage a grade 11 boy from a distance
Yeah.
who's in his room on a computer? Like,
And you're giving like an online lecture?
some teachers said they had to turn their camera on.
Mm-hmm.
I have to see them. I don't want to see in these kids' rooms. Like, I had some of them on. I'm like, no.
What?
They're
Is it
like
just dirty rooms?
It's just like I'm getting into their personal space.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How about I don't?
Yeah.
And I hope you stay engaged, but no,
Yeah.
I'm not looking in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's ethical issues surrounding that, but also it's like distracting for me as a teacher. Like, dude,
what's that poster you got over there?
like I've got my own kids. Like, you know, theoretically, like I don't need. Just shut that thing off and listen to me and do these things.
Yeah.
So it doesn't foster engagement.
No.
Like COVID learning.
Mm.
Online is terrible.
Yeah.
So even as a teacher, you're talking to a screen.
Mm-hmm.
You're not talking to people. You can't. I can read people. I can't read a screen.
Right. So. Yeah, and I guess that would be a hindrance. Like you said, like if you know a student has been struggling, or even like if you're walking around your class, you can go up to the students and stuff like that and help them out or offer them help. But you can't really do that in a online setting.
No.
Like students who struggle are going to struggle harder.
Yep. And that's why Hardman said, do not have the same standards. Basically, we were told, lower your standards. You can't expect the same thing.
No, you can't.
And, like, final exams, I was like, there's no way I'm not having final exams in COVID.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have a final project.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's not great. Having said that, there's a small percentage of kids who love it.
Yeah, just the second part of the question is how this benefited some learners.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Some students find the classroom totally distracting, like
Yeah.
social time, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm like, okay, I can read and comprehend, and get me to fill out that worksheet, I can do it. Right? Get me to jump through these hoops, I can do that.
Yeah.
I can concentrate now, right? And I can organize my own time. Some students can do that. Most can't.
Yeah.
Most can't be self-disciplined enough to do that.
Yeah.
So we had, that's another thing I've noticed. The rate of people not handing things in
Gone up?
has gone up.
Really?
Yeah. And it's
just people not being able to organize their time.
They can't organize their time. They've got the impression that I don't have to hand it in now, I can hand it in later. Because that's the message they got during COVID.
Yeah.
So
there's lower standards now?
Lower standards, accept it later, don't have too many punishing like late marks or anything. There's some teachers that you can't do late marks. So they've got it into their heads where I'll hand it in towards the end.
Right.
Well, that's not good. You got to stay with the course.
Right.
Otherwise,
you can't do it all at once.
Yeah. So I've seen an increase in that. I think they're starting to learn with me that actually that's not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen more of that going on.
Yeah. Okay.
And the standards are lower.
Yeah.
My standards are lower. I know that my kids can't put up the same quality of work as kids 5 years ago.
Just because of the pandemic.
Because of the pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
like if I look at some of my essay responses from when we had provincial exams
Yeah.
compared to now, oh my gosh. So we expected so much more from those kids in provincial exams
Yeah.
than these kids.
Huh.
But even after the provincial exams were over, if I compare like from 5 years ago, 3 years ago,
Yeah.
far stronger responses
Yeah.
in, before that compared to now. I think people are like, well, I don't have to do as much.
Right.
Yeah.
In order to just get through the course, they don't have to do so much for them, and they don't engage as much.
Yeah, and they think, well, then now I still don't have to do as much.
Right. Dang.
Yeah.
Ooh. What effect do you think this is having on social, emotional well-being?
Not good.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, you talked about the impact on now being back in class. People being, I guess, skittish about speaking.
Yeah.
Do you notice less socialization now?
Well, just in my one class, and I've had students say, well, that's because we don't know these other people in our class.
Right. Because they've never been in a class.
Because I've
with them.
seen some of the same students next door laughing, engaging. I'm like, how come you guys are laughing, engaging there? Well, these people are our friends. These people in this class, we don't really know them.
Right.
And it's been like, yeah, but you could get to know them now.
Yeah.
It's like a slower process.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
So, yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, socially, even before the pandemic, we've seen anxiety levels going up in students. We've seen, we've seen that. So I would say that hasn't gone down during the pandemic. I think it's, if anything, it's probably gone up, right? Because they hear these fearful words all the time. Yeah. And not having as much social interaction that the pandemic forced upon us. And in some ways, we're just getting out of that, right? That's not healthy for it. We're social beings.
Yeah.
And there's a few people who thrive on solitude. Most of us don't.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And yeah, so I think people have gone to like online circles, and that was already happening with the phone, but it got amplified with COVID. And even online I don't think it fills your soul the way that in-person contact does.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. Yeah. COVID has not been awesome.
No, probably not at all.
No.
Yeah. Can you notice it, like in a class? Can you tell if, like, that students now being after COVID, can you tell, like, oh, these students are, I don't know, like more, I guess, expressing less positive emotion, or like are more anxious, or
Yeah, I think so.
I guess masks make it weird.
Masks make it weird. Masks aren't great.
No.
Because you can't read a face really well.
You can't. So much expression is even just your mouth.
Yeah.
It's weird how much that is.
So if it's covered, you're like, is everything okay here? Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
So you get a smile and you're like, you smile back.
Yeah.
Right? When people smile at you, you tend to like smile back.
Yeah.
Well, that does all sorts of things for your insides.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that makes you feel good.
Uh-huh.
And there's just less of that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frick.
Yeah. it is good to see, though, on a positive note, that the human spirit still exists. Like, you still, I think of my geography class, small class, 14 kids.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of live wires in there.
Oh, yeah.
And even though I'm like, hey, man, I'm going to kick you out if you don't, I love that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like, there's life,
Yeah.
right? And as long as you can, like, hunker down and focus,
Yeah.
eventually,
Yeah.
I don't mind that kind of energy.
Yeah.
I got a guy and I got a girl like that
Yeah.
in that class. That makes a world of difference. To have life in the classroom. You're like, oh, frick, yeah, we're humans.
Yeah.
But to have that socials 11 class where there's like one person who doesn't give a rat's ass what other people think.
Yeah.
That's great, but you're a lone voice in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's nice to see that that's still alive. That even in the thick of this,
yeah,
you got that indomitable human spirit. Who these people will see the positive sign in almost anything. They'll recognize this is the shits, but we're gonna make it as fun, shitty experience as we can.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's great to see.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we just need to keep fanning those flames, right? Get those going again. Get the fire going again. We're humans.
Yeah.
The embers are there. The sparks are there. We just need to fan it into flame.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, honestly, we as teachers, we play an integral role in getting that going again. So
and engaging the class and
engaging the class and getting society going again. So I'm just making this off the cuff right now, but I actually do think that we play a pretty important role right now.
Right, facilitating social interaction and stuff like that.
I mean, we always have.
Yeah.
But now it's much more important that we get engaging and get them talking again.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. And I'm like as soon as we can, do crazy shit again as a school.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think I don't know if we have the right administration to do that right now, but like changing grad so that it's engaging. Like we used to have like overnighters, right?
Yeah.
We
there's a grad skip day.
There was a grad skip day.
Yeah.
And I've seen our administration like clamping down on this.
Why?
Like, because problems. Bring on the problems.
Yeah.
Like as long as we're talking about safe, the students are safe. Like we don't have to go back to Fight Club. Oh, that was awesome. We don't have to go back to Fight Club.
Yeah.
But let's go do things again.
Yeah.
Because we have to as society.
Yeah.
Let's have overnighters again. Yes, shenanigans will happen.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as we're able to, right? Or as soon as we can like do this, we can't right now. But as soon as we can, let's do it, and like maybe go a little overboard on it, because we got to get these people back engaged and firing and excited about life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. That was like one of the things about Fight Club was it created community.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like nothing else I've ever seen.
Really.
It was so awesome. It was the whole freaking grad. Everybody was in there.
Really?
Because
this is you and Mr.
Newfield.
Yeah.
It was Sam. It was so awesome. It was such a bad idea.
Yeah.
Like from a legal standpoint, just absolutely asinine.
But you and Mr. Newfelt were watching kids fight each other.
Well, we fought each other.
Yeah, I know you did, but you watched kids fight each other.
Nickel and Weiss, Dean Weiss.
Yeah.
On video.
Yeah.
We're in the front row, kneeling down or squatting down.
Yeah.
Going, kill, like the freaking gladiators.
Yeah, yeah.
But every kid was there.
Yeah.
Every kid.
Yeah.
Socially awkward, no matter.
Yeah.
Everybody's there because my gosh, this is insane and I've got to be here.
Yeah.
There's music pumping, there are fights, and at the end, they're friends.
Yeah.
and it was middle of the night.
Yeah. Was this at the overnighter?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, and it was just electric.
Yeah.
Like as a teacher, I was like, okay, bring on another fight. Yeah, those two.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, dude. It was just
But-
wrestling?
Oh, it got bad. It
Oh.
was wrestling, and then it went to wrestling and boxing.
This is MMA.
Yeah.
I hosted an impromptu MMA tournament
It
in the
was
Grand
so-
Overnighter.
We had a ringmaster.
No way!
Oh yeah.
Holy
And
shit!
in Discord, we
No.
had mics, we had
Oh
sound.
my gosh! Oh my gosh!
It was hot and sweaty in there.
Yeah.
So like, there's like.
Wait, which room?
It was at Camp Cheris.
Oh, okay, so not on the.
No, yeah, it's downstairs. A big room, right?
Yeah,
But jammed with people.
yeah. That sounds awesome.
Anita Bath, the news anchor for CBC News.
Yeah?
She had a thing. She was just a mouthpiece in
Yeah.
high school. She had a thing with another girl, Kelly Esau. Like
They fought?
They were catfighting all year
Yeah.
long. That's who the ringmaster do up. Well, Anita got tooled. She got totally owned by Kelly Esau.
Oh my
And
gosh.
secretly I was like, yes.
Ah, Mr. Funk! Oh my gosh!
Justice.
Oh my gosh!
So it was, oh my gosh, like that created community. Like
Yeah.
you came out of that